All right, chat. So this is green-white humans. And as you'll note, we've got a small blue splash for Glasspool Mimic. And this is really like one of the freest splashes you can have in this format because it makes blue mana for itself. We also kind of want to play Forsaken Crossroads in our 2-color deck anyways. And I've got a couple of miscellaneous blue pathways as well. So casting this when we draw it should be no problem. The real reason to play Glasspool Mimic in white decks in Alchemy, though, is Inquisitor Captain. So when this enters play, you seek out 2 creatures that cost 3 or less. You pick one of them to put into play. And if you put Glasspool Mimic into play, you get to copy Inquisitor's Captain, which lets you then find another creature. So if you high roll with this card, you could put, double digits worth of power into play for just 4 mana. Especially in this deck, imagine you play Captain, you hit Glasspool Mimic, and then you hit Hamlet Vanguard with no other creatures in play. You just had empty board and went Captain, Captain, Hamlet Vanguard. You'd suddenly have 11 power worth of creatures across 3 bodies. And God forbid you had any other humans in play, which is likely this will be even larger with its ward protection. So the rest of this deck is pretty good aggressive human cards. We got Katilda to help make mana and pump up the squad. We've got Hopeful Innate. Another new card from the direct-to-digital stuff we got here is Sigardian Evangel. Pretty reasonable card on turn 2. It's just a 3/1 for 2, but then also scales into the late game, letting you play out a bunch of them until you don't have mana anymore. And with Katilda, it's very possible to have lots of mana in this deck, which is why we're playing things like Emeria's Call, because you do cast this on occasion. So as far as other new cards go, we've got a couple of antique collectors in the sideboard as grind against Meathook Massacre decks. So let's go ahead and jump on into some games with this and see how it goes. Do I want a blue-white slow land? No. There are literally 4 blue spells in my deck, and those blue spells play as lands if I draw too many of them, and I want my lands to be untapped. So think of the pathways are literally free. Think of the pathways as their basic lands, their basic forests and plains that sometimes play as blue if we draw a Glasspool and make it need to. One comment on omissions. There are no Thalias in this deck. I think Thalia is actually quite bad in this format. The only reason she was somewhat playable in the previous format was because of... She was somewhat playable because she was good into mono green, and mono green isn't particularly popular in Alchemy. So Thalia's stock has gone way down. I mean, even with our blue card in this hand, right? Like, I literally just get to play this on blue on turn 1. And like, hand's fine. Don't be afraid to play this out as just a 2-drop. We are the beatdown in a lot of matchups, so I'll just get them under pressure ASAP. Sedge. Might just be a double Hamlet Vanguard turn next turn. Just like 3/3 into 5/5. So my friends, do you have no Doomscar? You do. Okie doke. They sweep or counter this, we'll probably call it a day. Games like this always make me chuckle at, like, there's a lot of people who like to act that, like, Control's one of the most difficult things to play in Magic, and it's just like, yep, it was really hard to have your Doom Scars on curve. Control decks in Magic are actually some of the least interesting things about the game. Gameplay tends to be fairly dry like that. It's just like, we're basically playing Go Fish, right? Like, was there a sweeper? Oh, there was? Okay, you win. Oh, you didn't have one? Okay, you die. Yeah, it's not like you will frequently hear me profess on this stream. I think the most interesting and skill-testing games of Magic, in my opinion, are the ones that involve attacking and blocking. Because attacking and blocking in Magic tends to lead to the most permutations of different outcomes and options you can make. And I think that's really where the skill in the game of Magic comes from, where when you present players with lots of decision trees, and control decks generally don't have particularly many decision trees. It's like, do I have the sweeper? If yes, play it. If no, die. In these aggro matchups. Whereas, like, when you're playing creature decks and other creature decks, you know, how you're attacking and blocking are the choices you're making. Thanks for the follow, Green Fox. Yeah, control mirrors can be interesting. Control against creature decks in Magic tends to be pretty meh, though. Neither of these died. That's a good start. Purge me, daddy. This is why there's Glasspool Mimic in our deck, chat. Also notable, these cost 4, so they don't get Divine Purged, which is nice. You're at 16. If I play this and pump, this is 8, 13, 14, 15. Am I 1 short if I adversary? Let's count that again. So each of these are 4. And then this is going to have 5 things in play. So that's 5. It'll gain 6 from this. No, wait, is it exactly lethal? So I'm going to have 5 things. It'll gain a 6 point from this. And then 1, 2 more. I think this is exactly lethal. 2 bows! The OG Hoglandian. Thank you for the 76 months. Took today off to assemble a playset for the kids. Going to be a fun day. You're in Texas, if I'm recalling correctly. Gotta be somewhere south to be doing playground assembly. I guess it could be an indoor playset. Westlack, thanks for the 3 years. Welcome back. Yeah, nice key to the archive, by the way. Definitely need to ban this one. It's too strong, chat. Inquisitor Captain immediately getting to flex there feels good. By the way, there's that raid counter in the corner and the command in the stream title. Today's stream is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. If you want an easy way to support my content, check out their game on mobile or PC or PC using my link there if you've not played it before. I know there's some regulars in chat. We've done raid promos in the past, so if you've done it before, this is just for new installs. We're going to play some raid for a couple hours at the end of the stream today. I know Raid is advertised to the degree of being a bit of a meme on the internet, but it's actually a pretty good game. When we get to me playing it later today and I log in, you will see my account has a borderline unhealthy amount of time played into it. I played a lot of Raid for a very long time. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go like 2, 3, and then play this after. I'll lean on this rather than the Cathar. Get a feel for their hand. There's also a good chance that's a Doomscar over there, so let's tempo that one for now. Take that out of the equation for the time being, has a lot of value. I did manually load untap. It wasn't on immediately when I started the stream, so if you're not seeing it, maybe refresh your page. Yeah, Twitch says untapped is loaded. Morning Mixed in Sin, thanks for the 22 months. Is Key good or just popular? Just popular. It's a big brain feel smart card. It's a 4-mana card that doesn't impact the board at its core, chat. Man, the fact that this doesn't impact this is kind of rough. Hey, thanks for the biddy, Sadness. Happy holidays to you too. Happy holidays, do 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 do. Do 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 do. Well, I mean, if I force a sweeper at this point, that's probably a good thing, right? So I think I'm just gonna drop this and then pass. I'm also playing this Glasspool out to work towards playing this plus some pumps. So they have sweepers here, but these have that perpetual, when it dies, put it under my deck and then investigate. So they block this. They go down to 2 here. Some amount of these are sweepers, I imagine, plus this Day of Judgment. It's been a while since I've done top 5 stuff. Those videos never did particularly well in terms of metrics, so I've kind of refocused my direct to YouTube stuff on things like the Deck Digest channel. The one unfortunate thing is, this has to be in your graveyard to shuffle, so it actually doesn't stack. So in multiples, it's not great. To draw with this, so then we get 2 more clues here. So like, it's a little bit of a slug, but we're not out of this game by any means yet. Oh, that's kind of adorable. We could redraw the ones with the text on them because it's perpetual. So this is also going to make another clue when it dies again. That's kind of great, actually. I assume this is another Doomscar. We haven't seen any other Foretell cards out of them. It came into play tapped because it's also perpetually modified from Divine Purge. That's why it costs 5 as well. Yeah, Purge has got, it's got a lot of, this Spellbinder tastes purple. Lot of purple, chat. I guess we just put 2 threats into play here, huh? Your move, Yugi boy. Get got by the Hearthstone card, shit. Where's my Hearthstone card? Where are my Inquisitor Captains? We're like through a third of my deck without any of them? Thanks. Oh, Captain, my Captain. So the problem here is they have this Fading Hope to bounce this. I think we have to no attack, so I don't want them to eat either of these. Although I guess the problem with this line is now if they have a sweeper, they can Fading Hope their Archangel and then sweep the board. Almost 4 years ago, I remember thinking nothing could go worse than 2016. Sorry, I almost missed that one. Dig, thanks for the 46 months. Urkandar, wow, that's a good draw. That's a good draw. Thank you for the 52 months, Kadar. This taps something when it comes into play, chat. Well, this will definitely be the record for the most of these I've ever cast. Make some friends. This card's pretty good late. Alright, we know they have Fading Hope. Okay. Oh my gosh, they're gonna live at 1, chat. They're gonna live at 1. What a tilter. They did have to use their bounce spell though, so if they sweep, their angel goes away, and then I have Intrepid Adversaries left over. So yeah, I assume they drew a sweeper because that's how magic works. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, Lear is such a fucked magic card, chat. It's such a fucked magic card. It's so much worse for us than a sweeper. Wait, are they dead? Are they dead to the cave? How much mana do I have? There's a chance they're dead to the cave. The cave takes... I think they're alive, unfortunately. Is the untapped land lethal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is 8, right? And we were on the draw. Nick. Sometimes lucky. Sometimes lucky. Whew! Oh no, we had to win that turn, chat. We weren't winning. We weren't winning if the Lear happened again. The Lear was gonna put us firmly in the ground. The hope had faded, but was not gone. Accurate. Yeah, the collector actually punched the clock and go to work there, huh? Made like half a dozen clues. Maybe Jellybean send a list over. Drop it through the forum on the site and I'll take a look at it. Sounds like it's probably fine. Tireless tracker when indeed. Asking the real questions. Got me. Getting a Jawari disruption on that, as opposed to a captain later, is so good for us. Thanks for the follow, Neon. Good morning. Didn't have a counter spell last turn when we played this. This could just be a draw spell they have mana up for at the moment. Or across 2 bodies for 4 mana. Not bad. Confirmed draw spell. They notably didn't foretell this though. So we could have something else they wanted to hold up at the same time there. It's just white, like blue-white control day on the ladder for us. The ladder matchup variance has been brutal the last couple of days. Queue up with creature deck, run into back-to-back decks filled with sweepers. And then yesterday we queued up with mono green and like ran into clerics for the first time in ever. Oh yeah, that's the real problem. Is setting up that infinite combo Jelly Bean means that they don't kill that turn is a pretty big drawback. Wait, we bounced my captain? Excuse me? Excuse me? The saw coming? Decline attacks here, because Katilda can pump up my board next turn. It's been a while, but the Magic Arena flipping my audio channels bug is still alive and well. Discord notifications are always infinitely more reliable than Twitch. I'd heavily encourage you to join the Arena Live Notify group in the subs Discord if you want accurate pings. Occasionally I forget to ping there, but it's pretty consistent. Also, like, I'm here by 8:30 almost every morning, chat. Set your watch by me. 8:30 or a little before. I think Purge making the creatures come into play tapped is just adding a little bit of extra salt in the wound. You want to make sure the person playing their creature deck really feels fucking terrible as they recast their spells. You don't want them to feel just a little bit bad. They have to feel atrocious. You wouldn't want the creature deck to have fun by accident, chat. Would be a horrible, horrible outcome. Oh, I actually can't attack into this Hall of the Storm Giants, huh? Nah, I lied. I'm attacking. If I don't attack, they get to flashback Memory Deluge, and then I die. I should have not played this to hold up Valorous Stance to attack into this. That was a mistake on my part. WotC's in the pocket of big control. I mean, Paul Cheon does design magic cards now. Game's pretty over. I want Hopeful Innate here. I'm not sure that I do. It's probably the worst creature in my deck at the moment. It's likely the Trim. Keep a couple of Stance in. Unforeseen Power. Thank you for the third of a year. Welcome back. Good morning. Good morning. Control went from banning your cards with hard sweepers to suspending your cards with an exiled tax. Historic Pauper is surprisingly difficult to get into. Had to use 20 common wild cards to finish a deck for the midweek event. As something of a large sea creature, I am ignorant to the blight of minnows. Are common wild cards actually a thing players get choked on? Is this a peasant joke I'm too rich to understand? When starting any wild card is a choke. I mean, kinda. Like, for how long is obviously a brand new account has nothing on it. They're only an issue if you craft everything proactively. Yeah, that I'd believe. That sounds accurate. Inquisitor Captain is actually perfect because it's a threat we can add to the board that doesn't get Divine Purged. Oh, hey, Teferi can undiddle Jacob. That's pretty good. And this thing exiles instead of destroying, so Valorous Stance doesn't offer counterplay. Honestly, people keep talking about, like, did Control really need another sweeper? The most frustrating part about playing these creature decks against it is that, like, it's another sweeper that doesn't destroy. The problem isn't the volume of sweepers, it's the diversity with which those sweepers fuck your board. Getting one of 2 remaining Glasspool Mimics is a nice high roll. Nine power for 4 mana, you'll love to see it. This Raid Shadow Legend's worth the wild cards. No wild cards in Raid, but plenty of loot boxes. A classic character collector game. Only a little mischief. Let's lead Spellbinder to find out if we need to send all 3 things at Teferi here or not. I mean, I don't think this card's too good. I think it's just annoying. I'm gonna decline taking this card from their hand, chat, because they have 6 mana, and if they cast this for 6, they get to see 2 extra cards. My body is ready to play this Hamlet Vanguard and for my board to get Divine Purged again. Although I guess if they purge me, it doesn't kill Captain. So hopefully they just find a Doomscar and then we get to stance their Doomscar and kill them. Yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it, Violent Journey. It's a design that sidesteps counterplay specifically. Disruption me, daddy, disruption me. Oh my gosh, they actually have the disruption, chat. Yes! Good stuff, good stuff. Sometimes lucky. Sometimes lucky. Run it back. Run it back now, y'all. Silly Cheese, thanks for 35 months. Welcome back. Should give your kids a coloring wall again to relive the good old days. Nah, hard pass. Christy, one of the reasons we did a coloring wall in the last house, we knew we weren't staying there forever. We were going to paint it when we leave. Although I suppose we are going to repaint this house eventually. Guess we'll keep this. Antique collector's pretty good. Let's lead this. I might use this for blue to cast these glass pools. Hey, nice, silly cheese. Glad adulthood is going reasonably for you. Yeah, just don't let him paint with blood like in Erica. We'll be okay. Okay. Okay, step 1, didn't get Doomscarred. Baby steps. I think I want to pump this up. I think I'm just going to go ahead and collector here. Get some text modification and perpetuity going on. It has a little bit of evasion to cut through these as well, which is nice. They have the sweeper. I just need Jin. Novel experience. Definitely more of a... It might be a bit of a stretch to call it like a proper game. Definitely more of a like an interactive movie. I think is a more accurate description. There really wasn't gameplay so much as you made choices for the characters on the screen. I think it's actually more of a game than Edith Finch. Like, if you liked Finch, I think you'd probably like it. It was well done. The seamlessness between your choices and the characters, like your choices and the actual like real people acting was like really well done. Hey, I think we just put 9 power into play with this card. I tap that desert beach so hard, shit. I was writing. We played a game called Erica. It was called an FMV, full motion video, I think, where like it's basically like a movie with like actual actors as opposed to animation, and you made choices and there's sprawling. Your decisions make the game play out and the movie play out in different ways. I think the wiki said there's like half a dozen or so different endings depending on what you do. may play. No, you can play this as the land. I want this because it has the perpetual draw card on it. I think my primary takeaway on the Edith Finch game was I hope whoever wrote the story for that game gets the mental health help that they desperately need. It was a weird like, yeah, like, or maybe they've already gotten it and it was very intense writing and scenes. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing here. With the Mordekainen coming into play and them having sustained card advantage, it feels like we're in garbage time here, huh? If the Inquisitor Captain had resolved, we might have had a chance, but with Inquisitor Captain getting countered, feels like I'm just dead here. Yeah, I didn't end up finishing the Ruined King. I kind of bounced off of the combat in it. What's it called? Honestly, I think part of the reason why I bounced off of the combat in Ruined King is I've played a ton of Raid, which is what we're gonna play at the end of the game today. And Raid has, the combat is similar, but Raid lets you do it as an auto battler once you get bored of managing the micro in it. So, like, the decisions on how you build your characters were interesting, but the fact that you had to always manually play through the combat is not great. Or was not great for me, at least. So I can play this, and we can pump twice. Yeah, or just at this point. Alright, I'm not playing against other blue-white control deck. If we queue into it for a third time, I'm conceding and trying to find another match. That was 2 different opponents on this nonsense. But I've spent my 50 minutes playing 2 matches of Magic. I ran out of fun half the way through. The small upside, not that it stops people from playing those decks, because those decks give people a desperate sense of control that they lack in their real personal lives, so they play them regardless. But those decks so far don't seem to be particularly powerful in Alchemy. They all came up relatively short in the first couple of smaller tournaments, and the untapped metrics point to them not being particularly great last I checked. Yeah, blue-white isn't even a blip on the Alchemy metrics for untapped. It's not that they're too good, they're just exhausting. Is the way to describe it. Time to Beat says Ruined King to play through just the story parts is about 18 hours glitch. Flesh-Eaten Gnome, thanks for 37 months. Welcome back. We're really good at having all of our glass pools as our lands, but this hand's keepable, so we're going to keep it. Hopefully we draw some lands and like the second one can be a spell. Yeah, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed in Wizards if we don't see these return consistently. In fact, to make a strong statement that I typically tend to shy away from, I think it would be a spectacular design failure if there aren't land spell split cards in Standard / Alchemy in perpetuity moving forward. I think once every 2 years we should revisit a set or plane where these can happen because they make Magic such a better game to exist. Let's not put spoilers in chat of things people are likely still watching, like Witcher stuff, please and thank you. I guess this attack is loose, because if they kill Moonbrute, they get to eat my adversary with the 2/2 first striker. So yeah, I'm supposed to only attack with Moonbrute here. My attack with adversary is bad. Didn't get punished, but had they been able to kill this, we would have gotten very punished there. This isn't a human on the backside, right? So these are both very bad currently. Bird. MDFCs are modal dual-faced cards. Well, that was a wonderful draw. I think Town Razor's design is very good. The card is just slightly overtuned. I think you change the 2 to a 1 and this card is fine. Brutal Catharing, that's actually kind of not good for us because they're gonna get to kill my Brutal Cathar and then kill another land. So we have lethal next turn in theory. Valorous Stance and Tangletrap get to come in. I'm not sure I actually want Brutal Cathar. Was okay there, but I think that's the trim. I cut the veterans and leave 1 Cathar in. It's probably fine. Not even sure I want this. Just like the best 1-drop outside of Hopeful Innate. Might be right to just play minimal 1-drops. Man, shit. These just like 2 Glasspool Mimics are just perpetually glued to my opening hand. Oh, I should have kept the Crossroads, right? Because it was untapped because we're on the draw, so it could have just had Upside of Scrying. Okay, so we're dead. Good chat. Game 3 on the play. Katilda there, for those not familiar, is going to transform and it's going to draw 2 spells off of my deck. At which point we are no longer playing a competitive game of Magic. Feels like they have a deal one, so I'm going to lead on Evangel because I want this to survive more than I want this to survive. Spike me, daddy. If we draw running lands the next 2 turns, our hand is great. We have 2 removal spells for their dragons. Ever held on 2 for the 3rd game? They do not. Okay, yep, there's a running land. This could just die, but this dying doesn't matter if we spike an untapped land next turn. Okay, I mean, all things considered, tapped land is better than missing here. Oh, that's unfortunate. Were they digging for a land here? Oh, they had it. Mediocre Captain, still 6 power for 4 mana. You know? Mono White Collected Company is good stuff. I mean, like, we didn't super high roll with the Captain, but, like, it's also still just fine. Opponent's playing more like big red than mono red dragons here, huh? With adversaries and the werewolf. It's a neat build. Oh, I should have done that after I kept in. Captain Seek doesn't shuffle, but Captain shuffles at the end of its trigger. The no block there is good for us. It implies that they don't have a sweeper. If they have a sweeper, they trade to keep their life total high. Rahilda's backside not having a color is a very, very clear small oversight. Rahilda's backside is missing a color indicator. It's actually just like not a big deal. It's a lot like nerfing cards in Alchemy impacting Historic. From a purity standpoint, it's awkward and annoying, but from an impact it has on the average game standpoint, it's negligible. Definitely just want to hold stance / other removal spell here. We can keep Resplendent Cathar alive. It's going to take over this game very quickly. Yeah, and it impacts, like, Vanishing Verse. I'm aware, Martian. I just described what the issue was. But I appreciate you being a peak Magic the Gathering player and re-explaining it to me like I don't understand what I'm talking about. My statement stands. It matters for, like, exactly Vanishing Verse, and that is it. I am not a coffee drinker. I drink iced tea and occasionally soda, but do not do coffee or energy drinks. I am a vegetarian. There's a vibe in the air. I think I'm too old to feel vibes. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying coffee. I just don't particularly enjoy coffee, so I don't drink it. You're old enough that you just feel vibes as joint pain. Oh, that's great. Bump up the jam, Katilda. Let's do it. We have a seer in here. Oh my god, they get to flashback too. This is brutal. That's so rough. Adversary looking really impressive here. Yeah, hopefully Cave of the Frost Dragons get to drag us across the finish line here. How old is Jake? 5 or 6? Jake will be 8 in February, Jim. You old man, you. It's okay, it hurts me too. Yeah, he's 8 and Declan is, or he's almost 8 and Declan's almost 7. What's going on, Canned Monkey? Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. Creature lands, ladies and gentlemen. Creature lands. Tumo's resubbed this morning for the 76th month. He's trailing Jake with his sub age. There was attacking and blocking in that match. It was much more interesting than the control matchup. Never mind vibes. Yesterday, my 7-year-old asked me if beds had been invented when I was a kid. And you told your 7-year-old that you used to sleep on the floor, right? And you were happy about it, so you should be thankful for all the things that they have. Slept on straw. There you go. Both the boys have beds with ladders up to them with like little areas underneath them in their room. And Haley recently discovered that she's now capable of climbing those ladders herself. So every time she can break away from us upstairs, she like cackles and bolts for the ladders on their beds to pull herself up into them.
For the sake of all Innistrad, my will must be obeyed. My ways are not for the weak.
This is super awkward. Haley is just 3 months old. Yeah, I mean, Haley was born shortly after the pandemic started, chat. And the pandemic's gonna be over by Easter, so confident that Haley can't possibly be that old. Alright, so this game can be over now, right? I guess we'll take one draw step, and maybe if we high roll this, we'll keep playing, but I assume we're done here. Collector in, Brutal Cathar out. There's probably a Spellbinder matchup too, right? And Stance isn't even very good here because their sweeper is Meathook Massacre. I guess they probably have some Blood on the Snow. Maybe I'm supposed to leave some of these in. Yeah, a number of the colleges in my area announced that, they're going to be going full remote for the first couple of weeks after break when they get back. Yeah, Zan's kind of a machine. He's like live close to 60 hours a week. Hopefully he don't burn himself out and his stuff's going all right. He's someone I always enjoyed chatting with. He was like starting on the SCG tour right when I was on my tail end of stuff there. I don't think he's that different in age from me, but he was kind of like the SCG grinder tour generation after me. Extra Hamlet sounds good. I think I'm supposed to do this to start because I don't want to do this and then have this kill this. All of our 3-1s are real awkward into Shambling Guest. I'm a little surprised to see Crossroads in their deck, Because they had Snowlands. I wonder if Zan's not playing Blood on the Snow. It's an exile. Oof. Yeah, I'm still clueless, chat. I think we do this into double Evangel. Oh, that's something else, hero. Tap that treasure token. Hey, thanks for the 20 months. I appreciate the prime. Welcome back. The old Alchemy ban. It's been kind of a slog. There's been a lot of control on the ladder. Yeah, the Giants deck is sweet. That's one we're going to get back around to at some point. That one thoroughly exceeded my expectations. Get no bear. Thanks for the 29 months. Welcome back. Their spells, baby, don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I would not be surprised if Inquisitor Captain was changed to only triggering if you cast it from hand.
You require a gift in exchange for loyalty.
Alright, I think I'm gonna be done with this one. I'm gonna switch to a deck that has some counter spells and discard spells. I just don't feel like playing this creature deck into more sweepers. And obviously we can't control what we play against, but 3 out of 3. Playing my 36 creature deck into 3 out of 4 matchups being just mono sweepers and spot removal was really kind of dry. This deck seemed fine. Dragon's matchup specifically seems very reasonable. You had access to both Valorous Stance and Tangletrap and some large things that dodge like their 3 damage removal. Captain plus Mimic, still very good. Honestly, like, Captain plus Mimic and just other reasonable magic cards is probably decent in both Alchemy and Historic. It's pretty powerful.